Hello there. In this short video, I'm going to be talking you through a few things that you can do to prepare yourself for A-level physics at Waldegrave. My name is Mr Godfrey. I'm the subject leader in physics at Waldegrave, so I'm responsible for all the A-level physics students. So it's very likely that in September I will be one of your physics teachers. In this presentation, we're going to be looking at a few different aspects of the A-level physics course. So we're going to be looking at the course content and skills, what to do to prepare yourself for A-level physics, and we'll take a quick look at some of the extracurricular activities that we've done over the past few years in physics. So when you study physics at A-level, at the end of year 13, you do 3 exams, and on the screen here is just a summary of each of the different exams, and there's also the practical endorsement element of the A-level physics course, which is all about making sure that you're a competent experimental physicist, so that when you go off to university then you're able to carry out and record experiments effectively. So they're the sort of key elements and how you're assessed on the A-level physics course. On the next few slides, I'm going to show you what each of the 6 different modules is about. So Module 1 is all about experimental physics and becoming a practical experimenter in physics. So what I'm going to invite you to do is, when I show each of the slides, I'm not going to talk through each one, but for each of the slides, I just want you to pause the video and just have a look at some of the things that are covered in that content, and then look for overlaps between things that you might have studied before at GCSE physics and things that will be new to you for the A-level course. So there's the requirements for the sort of practical skills side of it. Unit 2 is called Foundations in Physics. That is all to do with the kind of fundamentals that underpin all different subjects within physics, those kind of subtopics. Unit 3 is all about motion, so forces and motion. Unit 4 is called Electrons, Waves and Photons, and that's to do with how electric circuits work, and it's to do with waves, and then we cover a bit of quantum physics towards the end of that unit. The Unit 5 is a Year 13 topic, and it's called Newtonian World and Astrophysics. So that's a kind of the sort of higher level forces and motion sort of stuff, and then we do a lot of work on astrophysics and cosmology. And Unit 6 is called Particle Physics and Medical Physics, so that includes things like radioactivity, and there's a really interesting module that we cover at the end called Medical Physics, which shows some medical applications to the physics that we've learned throughout the course. So that's the course content. To prepare yourself for being an A-level student, something that you need to do is just kind of shift your mindset and your working habits a little bit. Up till now, you would have had all of your lessons at school, and they would have, each of your lessons throughout the school week would have been a timetabled lesson. When it comes to A-level, you're going to have fewer lessons, but you're going to have free periods as well. So it's going to be important that you manage those free periods well. And my recommendation is to do 1 hour per weekday per subject of extra work on top of the timetabled lessons. So that could include things like preparation for future lessons. So when you start the A-level course, I'm going to give you a kind of schedule of what we're going to be covering for the following weeks, and for the sort of overview of the year. So you'll be able to prepare yourself for future lessons. Use that 1 hour per weekday per subject to work on homework assignments that you'll be set in physics. Independent study to make yourself better, so finding extra reading to do, maybe finding some practice questions on the content that you've recently had lessons on can help consolidate the things that you're learning. Past paper practice is always useful, and reviewing work from previous lessons. So I would certainly encourage you to spend some time reviewing things that you did maybe last lesson, or even perhaps a few lessons before, and then as we go through the year, it's always useful to revisit stuff that you learned right at the start of the year. So that's going to be my kind of recommendation for how much extra time to spend on your work. Things to prepare for September. So these are the kind of things that you'll need to have ready for you not necessarily bring to every lesson, but at least have ready in your locker. So I'll let you just pause the video and have a quick look over those things there. Some of you might want to get ahead of the game and start to look at the textbook that we use. So the example that we use is we use the OCR textbook there. That's what the front cover looks like there. And there's two different ways that you can get the textbook. So there's a A-level physics one that covers both year 12 and year 13. So that is the one that I would recommend, because it's got everything all in one place. So it means that you can look ahead to the year 13 content when you're in year 12, and then look back to the year 12 content when you're in year 13. So it's everything all in one place. Another thing that you could do, if you don't fancy one big book, you can go for two smaller books. One for year 12 and one for year 13. But my recommendation is to go for the 2-year one. Another thing that we use in physics is something called Isaac Physics. You might have heard of it before, but it's an online platform that we use to set physics problems, and they're quite tough problems, but they will make you an excellent physicist. Finally, we'll take a look at some of the extracurricular activities that we've done over the past few years. So Imperial College always contacts us to offer their Easter School, which we send students to do a project where they do a bit of computer programming, and they are modelling some oscillations, so that follow the simple harmonic motion model. So it's using computer models to kind of model oscillations. This year we went on a trip to central London to a ship, and it's called HQS Wellington, and there we did some practical works and a series of different practical activities to enhance our learning on the Unit 1 content there. I always encourage students to go to undergraduate physics lectures. So University College London do a series of physics lectures typically during the winter time, so I always promote those with my students. The Physics Olympiad is similar to what you probably have done, the Maths Challenge in maths before, but it's a similar kind of thing. It's a national competition where you're given some physics problems, and you can earn awards and certificates for that. And at the end of year 12, we carry out a physics research project. So that's a piece of extracurricular work that will give you the skills that are needed to go off and be a scientist at university. And it also gives us some good material to write in your university application when the time comes for that. So there's a few extra things that you can expect to do as part of your A-level physics course. So I hope you found this presentation useful, and I'm looking forward to meeting you in September.